Meantime, new edition, a brand new version of the COVID Goldilocks book has been released today, where they tell us what's too hot, what's too cold, and what's just right when it comes to beating the Delta Force strain, the Chuck Norris strain of the virus, which ripped through Melbourne and produced fewer cases than the Northern Beaches cluster at the end. It doesn't matter. Thankfully, there is no further limits on travel in and around Victoria. So you can go and visit your friends, you can go and visit your family, and hopefully the rest of the country can start to revisit Victoria. With one kind of exception. Bambi Eyes has said that you have to get a COVID test before you go to the ski fields.
They're essentially asking people without symptoms to get a test, or everyone who's attending Alpine resorts to get a test. They can head off, but they need that negative result before they can enter.
Why? Why? But as for the actual changes about the new Goldilocks book that we got today, about what you can and can't do in Melbourne specifically, because, you know, we're following the science here, right? Only 2 people are allowed to come over to your house. That's it. You can have 20 people who can gather outside. Oh, thank you. You can have 20 people at a wedding. Oh, isn't that magnificent? And 75 people at a funeral. There was a little bit of good news today, because, of course, we're following the science here, remember we spoke to the dance ladies who, for the best part of, 250 days weren't able to have dance classes. They weren't able to have dance studios for little girls, for teenage girls, where, remember, because they dance, they have to already be separated. Otherwise, their little legs would knock into each other. Well, this point was made very clearly by that industry on this show last night.
We have no clear guidelines. There's nothing, nobody can tell us why. We've asked the question, we've petitioned the government, we write letters to them, we tag them in everything, and nothing comes back. And all they say is that dance schools can't open, and that's about all the information that we get.
Well, the good news is that dance schools are back. They can have a maximum of 10 people, and all the kids have to dance in circles. Not joking. However, the science has also said that brothels are okay in Melbourne, where you can have, I think it's about 50 people inside a knock shop at any one time, as long as you follow these 4 square metre rule, which I'm not entirely sure how that's done, but I'm sure it's a very impressive trick. Of course, all of this is following the science, right, Acting Premier?
The only way that we can get there is by following public health advice.
Of course. The public health advice that says, let's remember here, you have to get a COVID test before you go skiing outside, but knock shops are open again in Melbourne. Thankfully, when it comes to the regional rules, there's a couple of changes. It's just made up. It's just